Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting word. I mean, I wouldn't have thought about it that way, that we like to defend the bad guy.
Mm.
I think it depends on the situation, of course. But yeah, maybe a little bit. I suppose
Mm.
I think there is. I mean, even like the whole stereotype. Even like when it comes to things like dating,
Yeah.
women like the that women were like the asshole. They like the drug addict. They like the rapper who commits
The
crimes. And
rapper, they like me.
but you don't commit crimes,
No,
though. So
I'm a good
you're
rapper.
a good rap. You
I'm
ain't
a,
you ain't that you ain't that
no,
hot.
no, I'm a peace, love, and positivity
Yeah,
rapper.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
No, so I mean,
Mm.
in some cases, yeah, I think
Yeah,
maybe,
the bad guys are the cool ones,
yeah.
and the nice guys are not cool. And like you never see a girl drooling over a guy winning the Nobel Peace Prize, for example.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but you will see girls hyped about rappers or gangsters or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that. You know,
yeah.
so
No,
it's not only girls, but I'm talking guys in like, let's say in high school or something like that.
everyone wants to be a rapper, but not a scientist.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't cool. Let's say in high school or in school in general, it was never cool to be
yeah.
good in school
Mm-hmm.
and have good grades
Mm-hmm.
and know shit.
Mm-hmm.
What was cool was being the best football player, for example.
Yeah.
That was cool. Then you're cool. Or the guy who drinks the most alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
or the guy who breaks the most rules.
Yeah.
Then you're cool. So it's like we always like the toxic shit. It's like
Yeah.
humans are wired to be toxic. You know, we love toxicity. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, perhaps, I mean, I wouldn't certainly feel like toxicity. I mean, I suppose in my social interactions, I consider myself quite vanilla. Even though
Vanilla. Yeah.
I know like some of my views, even my mum says, "Oh, but you have quite strong views," and I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, they're just thoughts in my head, but I'm quite a vanilla person otherwise.
Yes.
I mean, but I suppose like it kind of. I actually don't know what to say. I actually do want to. You mentioned nice people and nice guys. I've actually been mulling in my head. You know the way now the whole idea is the nice guy is always bad,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to figure out why that is because it's come to a point where someone says I'm a nice guy, I almost am like, kind of in a psychological way, like, what do you mean by a nice
It's
guy?
not a compliment. Yeah. I'd rather be called a bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, like, because I think we get so wrapped up in these terms on the
Mm.
internet, that nice guy, that like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, a nice guy was just a good person.
Yeah.
He did what he did, or what he or she could do for themselves, for the family, for the friends. They helped people, etc. Whereas now the nice guy's kind of become a toxic word.
Yeah. Now the nice guy's like you're weak. Then you're more like yeah, you're soft.
Hmm.
You don't stand up for yourself.
You don't go for what you want.
You don't go for what you want. You just kind of you're like a doormat.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's more of the nice guy. Yeah, that's how they see the nice guy today. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem.
Mm.
So even if, like, especially if a woman or a guy, like more especially, like a woman says, "Oh, I'm a nice guy," I mean, obviously it's nice, but it's kind of like, oh, what do you like? What do you mean by that in the background? I know it's kind of an insecurity thing in a sense, but it's a bit strange. But I think like I mean, a lot of people on the internet kind of get so wrapped up in these terms, we could actually just forget like the little term of a nice guy is just a good person.
Mm.
You
Just a
know.
good person. Yeah.
But actually, I think the thing is, I think the reason why there's such a backlash against the kind of the term of the nice guy, I mean, we already know this in many ways, but I suppose we can just, for those who aren't familiar, or those who kind of just want to know that all the people know about it, not just yourselves, is that the nice guy is almost kind of, there's almost like the idea that the nice guy is just a manipulative person that only does
Yeah.
kind things out of wanting to get something,
Something in return. Yeah.
something in return.
And then they complain if they don't get it.
Like
But a good guy wouldn't care for anything in return. A good guy is just good for the sake of being good.
for the sake of being good. I mean, like,
Yeah.
these women who are like, you guys, I'm a great guy. Why won't you be with me? I'm a nice guy.
Nice guy. Yeah, but
Like
I
in
mean, being
American
a nice
sitcoms and
guy
everything.
is not always enough. You gotta also take care of yourself. Look good and just be socially
Have something about you.
intelligence. Like yeah, intelligent
Have something
and
about you, of course.
be an interesting person. Like same with girls too. Like there's a lot of nice girls, but I'm not attracted to all of them.
For sure, for sure.
You know.
No, but I think it's because of the whole kind of manipulation thing, and I mean, like, it's a lot of these American sitcoms that kind of portray that.
Yeah, it's really like Two and a Half Men, for example.
Mhm.
You have Charlie, who's the Chad, gets all the girls, and then you have Alan, who's like this super nice guy, but he's so weak. Like girls, like nobody respects him because he's a doormat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's many examples of that. In many sitcoms, for example,
Yeah.
comedies and stuff like that.
But it's funny because it's kind of cruel in a sense because, anyone who's just a nice person or a good person who just, maybe he or she could be, I suppose we're talking more about men in this case because we're probably going to mostly talk about dating as well.
Yeah.
Mostly, it can involve other aspects of
We're
life.
not chasing dicks, we're chasing pussies. So we don't have.
Don't worry, dude. They don't need to know that.
Oh.
We could be confident,
Yeah. We're very straight. Just so you know.
Yeah, we swear to God.
We swear.
We swear to God.
Oh, sorry.
Don't touch me. They're going to think the wrong thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No,
Yeah,
but I
say.
mean, I just think because I just wanted to bring up a dating point as well that like essentially like you have two kind of groups. You have the kind of the red pill group or kind of like the quote unquote alpha male dating kind of groups. Like the nice guy always finished last and they suck and you're weak in your pussy. But then you also have the more kind of progressive kind of almost condescending kind of therapy kind of guys on YouTube who are kind of like, you nice guys are just nice because you want to get laid. And women are autonomous beings. They don't need to explain anything to you. Like there is one guy like that. Now, I think I'm sure he's a perfectly intelligent guy. And I don't know enough about him, but I just happened to see one reel of his. I forget his name. I'll show it to you later. I'll see if I can find him for you and see what you think. And if I'm ever on this podcast again, I'll share it with you guys. If for anyone who knows, maybe he's kind of a chubby guy with a beard. He's an American guy, and he always kind of has a facial. He always face first, on his and I think he always makes comments on kind of social criteria, social commentary. And
does he have blue hair?
No, it's not Destiny.
Oh, it's not Destiny.
It's not Destiny. It's not Destiny. It's not Destiny.
Destiny.
No, it's not Destiny. But like I just remember he was commenting on a guy. I think he was just. There's no context to these videos that they show half the time, but it was like this guy, maybe not the best looking person on the planet, maybe somewhat tallish. I don't know. I think he was trying to say like, why is it not okay that I approached a girl? And the guy was like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm this, I'm that. Like I don't want to talk to you. And look, fair enough. But then the guy who's making the commentary is like, a lot of young men have this issue that, they just won't accept that a girl doesn't want to talk to you. Now, on the surface, that's fine. What he's saying, absolutely. But then, he just says things that are so unnecessary. Like, she is an autonomous human being, She doesn't need to explain to you why you don't want to. I think he said something like this now. Why she doesn't want to talk to you. Absolutely agree. But just the tone of how he says it, as if the guy who is always approaching is always kind of somewhat a bad person.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But the woman is always this autonomous human being.
Uh-huh.
It's just, there's no need for this kind of, you're a bad guy for doing that. And it's always confusing because I kind of see where he's coming from, but there's a sort of a condescending, kind of passive-aggressive tone to his voice as well. And now I didn't watch the full thing, but I'm going to watch it again because I actually followed the channel because I wanted to see if I could just kind of get more into it, and see what he actually has to say before I kind of make a judgment. But he was saying, guys, you just need to accept and walk away. Absolutely. Like, no, and then he said, which is another good point, no guy kind of there's no point kind of saying how good a guy you are if they don't want you. That's absolutely fine. But I think instead of just being like, she's an autonomous human being, you just need to walk away because this guy is quite a feminist as well. Why not? Because look, and I think it boils down to one thing, and I'll explain what that is. But instead of, why don't you say, listen, guys, in kind of a kind, respectful, understanding way, look, guys, I know you want to date. I know you crave female interaction. But just try and remember, also for your own sake, don't try and seek a justification of why they don't want to. Just accept that they don't want to and just move on, because it's going to, if you keep on asking questions of yourself why this is happening or why she didn't want to, it's going to affect your mental health. It's like he's not actually considering the guy. He's saying, yeah, you shouldn't do this because it's not good, but it's more just kind of like he's always I get the sense he's the kind of guy who's always overly defending the female perspective.
Yeah.
While not giving a shit about the male perspective at all. I'm not even saying what he's saying is bad, but it's just, I feel he could try to be more understanding. It's not like they're doing it out of malice, Why they want you, why won't you?
I think that I talked to girls about this.
Yeah.
Some girls who, I talked to them, and some girls just, for some reason, see every guy as creeps
Mm.
or toxic or trash or
Mm.
something. There was one girl I had a conversation. She's a self-declared man hater.
Yeah, I remember the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not mention any names.
Well,
But anyways, but the thing is, like I told her, most guys they just want to reach out, you know, and they just want to reach out and they just want to, maybe get your attention,
I make
you
a
know.
connection. Hopefully, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
make
we
a
do. I
connect.
think we do. Like
Yeah,
most guys
just
do crave
a
connection.
connection. Like, and okay, well, some guys they struggle and they come off as a bit creepy, but most guys just want the connection and some people do it better than others.
For sure, absolutely.
Suddenly, if you are a handsome guy and you might say the same thing,
Hmm.
but if you're a handsome guy and you have a little bit of charm, then suddenly it's charming.
Yeah,
But
of
if you
course.
are not good looking guy and you say a
Mhm.
bit like shy and awkward and stuff, then suddenly you're a creep.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a lot of girls have this. I feel like a lot of girls have this really bad opinions about men
Mm.
in recent times, like
Mhm.
people our age,
Yeah.
and I think it's mostly because they got hurt before.
Yeah, and
Mm.
also things like social media probably hasn't helped either. And I mean,
Yeah, I think I think a lot of these girls have these fucked up algorithms on their TikToks and Instagram, just like we do. Just they have the opposite. Maybe they have like these kind of female advocates
yeah.
who is like, "You're a boss, bitch. You're a
Yeah.
boss, bitch.
Yeah, it's not great.
You should
It's
be
really not great.
independent. Fuck
Slay.
every
Yeah,
man, slay."
it's
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think that's also a problem, and
well,
then
obviously
it
it's
causes
hard.
division.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, it's harmless, but it's insufferable.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it could be harmful in some ways, actually. I mean, look, I haven't dealt with it that much.
Mm.
I mean, there are definitely some women who kind of like, yeah, it's definitely pretty hard for some guys, but which is good, which is nice. I mean, I'm not saying like you don't have to validate someone's feelings or like agree with someone if you don't want to. So if you don't, if there's a girl who's not interested in these issues, that's absolutely fine as well. But at
Yeah.
least I'm just saying it was interesting seeing that there are like even this girl that I was working with in France was like, yeah, this seems to be pretty hard for a lot of guys. So,
Yeah.
and she would know because she actually dated someone who was disabled as well.
Yeah.
You know. But I wanted to get back to this dude. I was thinking this like when I was waiting for you actually, and I just want to clarify. I need to just make a disclaimer that I don't know that much about this individual, so I'm just making just kind of a conclusion from what I've seen so far. The reason why he wouldn't try to be understanding towards the male perspective is ultimately I think he proclaims himself a male feminist, and ultimately he just wants to make content. He
Mm.
doesn't actually give a shit about the issue itself.
No, about men.
Yeah, exactly. Or just
Mm.
actually improving relationships, not between men and women, because I mean, I hate this idea that there's kind of like men here, women here.
Yeah.
It's more complex than that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of men who have a lot of issues because of maybe their looks, maybe their awkwardness,
Mm.
probably a bit of both. If they're not good looking, they become socially awkward, or if they're socially awkward but even good looking to a certain degree, they struggle as well. Maybe
Yeah.
less so. It just depends on the situation, but like certain kind of men basically are struggling, and yeah, essentially like that doesn't seem to be acknowledged sometimes.
Mm.
From what I understand.